This is the Blockchain Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by the Blockchain Real Estate Summit. If you're interested in the intersection of real estate, blockchain technology, AI, and more, you've come to the right place. Don't miss your opportunity to attend the Blockchain Real Estate Summit 2024, happening this September 24th through 26th, online for our worldwide audience. Get your tickets at blockchainrealestatesummit.com/registration. Enjoy the show.
Good day, everybody. We are excited to be here at the Blockchain Real Estate Summit podcast. My name is Michael Flight, and we have a killer show for you today. We are going to talk about a tokenized resort and vineyard in Uruguay. And these guys are some of the pioneering guys in the space, not only because they're tokenizing at some point in the future the resort, but also tokenizing the actual vineyards. As always, there's no legal advice here. There's no accounting advice here. There's no type of advice at all. You should make your own investment decisions and get your own investment advisors. And we are sponsored today, as always, by the Blockchain Real Estate Summit. The Blockchain Real Estate Summit is coming up fast in September. It's September 24th through September 26th. We've got 3 spectacular days in 3 time zones. So day 1 is Europe, day 2 is Asia, and day 3 is the Americas, North and South America focus. So with that, I will introduce, I have a co-host here riding shotgun with me, Marcus Bourne. And Marcus is not only a talented real estate guy, and we constantly have talked over the years about triple net properties and commiserated about, different deals and things like that. But Marcus is also one of the people that I've met in the space that knows blockchain real estate tokenization, and has given some real incredible thoughts. Marcus is a partner with Susta Fund, and they're a tokenized private equity project, and I still owe him reading through his magnificent white paper, which is not light reading, so I fell asleep trying to read it yesterday. And with us as our guest is Bill Lagner and Mauricio, and I'm going to kill his last name, Zlatkin. Can you correct me on that, Mauricio?
That's perfect.
Okay. And Bill and Mauricio are with the Viña Eden Resort and Winery. They are currently at the winery right now in Uruguay. And Bill is, trying to be a part-time American and part-time expat. And he found a little slice of Eden, a little slice of heaven down in South America. So I think it's great that we will learn a little bit more about Uruguay, a little bit more about award-winning wines, and how they plan on tokenizing it, and a new way of capital raising for resort development. So with that, Marcus, why don't you just give us a little bit more of an introduction as to what you're doing, and then we'll go around the horn here.
Sure. So thanks so much for having me as a co-host today, Michael. Susta is a private equity fund primarily focused on real estate at this time. Ironically, when we decided to do this, we were also looking to tokenize some vineyards in Portugal. One of my partners, Doug Tiason, has spent a lot of time in Argentina, owns 3,000 hectares outside of Argentina, I believe. Outside of Buenos Aires, sorry, and is a huge fan of wine. So he's very jealous that I'm doing this right now. But we're basically split over North America and South America with Brazil, Mexico, and the United States, and launching the first fund and tokens for U.S. real estate. So. But this is a topic of interest, having been to some parts of Brazil, especially for the wine culture, like Bento Gonçalves, if I'm sure that Mauricio knows about this and other parts. So I can't wait to hear about this and ask questions. So thank you so much, Michael.
All right. And Bill, why don't you give a little introduction about yourself, how you got involved with Viña Eden, and introduce Maurizio for us.
Sure, Michael, thank you. So I'm an investment management person. I've spent most of my life managing money. Started a hedge fund with a gentleman back in 2002. One of our claims to fame is we were short the credit bubble going into 2008, 2009. We've managed money primarily with an Austrian economics lens, and as the wheels came off the wagon and the powers that be decided to bail out the big banks, I realized at that point we were sliding down a very slippery slope, and there will be lots of unintended consequences from this. Fell into Bitcoin in 2011 and 12, made some investments thereafter within the whole blockchain infrastructure space, some of the protocols. But I started spending time in Uruguay around 2008, 2009, knowing it was viewed as the Switzerland of South America. The wealthy Argentines and Brazilians and Chileans would have property and business interests here. And I could see that the government was at that point starting to take initiatives to attract foreign direct investment. And so myself, guys like Eric Sprott and others were down here poking around, buying land, getting residency. I had to convince my better half, and then after 3 or 4 trips, she fell in love with the country as well. And then I didn't realize this, but up until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, several old clients and friends had business interests or had residence here. I met Mauricio through an American friend who's also very big in Bitcoin, going back over 10 years. And we met, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, and I realized right off the bat that he looked at the world through a similar lens. Mauricio also has an asset management background, and I could see that looking into the future, he had a lot of the same beliefs and passions, and so that's kind of how I fell into it. And I love this area. It kind of reminded my mother's family actually is from Italy, and so they've got they're in the wine business. They own farms, other business interests. So it kind of reminds me of Tuscany. So it had this kind of feel of Tuscany and the look of Tuscany. And I realized too, about 4 or 5 years ago, that especially during the post-COVID scenario, that the government was continuously looking for ways to attract, again, expats, foreign direct investment. So I think from a economic standpoint, social, cultural, it had all the right pieces, and I could see America was taking a different path, and that's one of the reasons why, or many of the reasons why I spent so much time.
All right. All right. And Maurizio, you are the driving force behind the original idea of the winery. Why don't you give us a little bit of an idea how you got down to Uruguay from Brazil, and what else you've got cooking?
So my background is in finance. I started in the derivatives trading world back in 1985. I've been a member of the BMNF. It's the Brazilian Futures Exchange since 1987 to 2007, and also a member of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange from 1995 onwards. And in 2003, I moved to Uruguay from Rio de Janeiro, where I was born. And I first came to Montevideo in 2003, and then got this property in 2005. Just, to have a place close to Punta del Este and spend the weekends. But then I fell in love with this place, and I moved here from 2008 onwards. And once I moved, we have this property. It's 246 hectares. So I called a agronomic engineer. I wanted to develop something here in the property, and I asked him, what should I do here? He told me, Mauricio, what you have here with the slopes, with the granite, with the quartz, with the sea breeze, all the terroir, it's exactly like Champagne in France. So back then in 2008, we made this decision that we would start a winery and with the aim of, being environmentally friendly and focusing on quality and aspirational projects. And we started the winery. We brought all the plants from France, from Studio Mercier. We planted the first 36,000 vines back then. And 10 years later, we were awarded the best sparkling wine in Uruguay. And since then, every year we are awarded the best sparkling wine. Not to mean that we only do sparkling. We're drinking a blend here of Marcelin, Tannat, and Merlot, which also is very well rated. All our wines are 90 plus points from international wine critics. And then we continued making the project larger and larger. So we installed electricity, power generation. Now we produce twice as the power we need for all the processes here in the vineyard and the winery. We have a restaurant where we receive 10,000 visitors a year for wine tasting, for visiting the plant. And now we have these two new projects. We have just launched 18,000 NFTs. Each NFT is related to one vine of our North vineyards. And we are now ready to break ground on a 5-star hotel that is going to be managed by an ultra-luxury chain called Aiken Hotels and Resorts. So a lot going on here at Viña Eden. Punta del Este, as Bill mentioned, has changed completely. The population has increased fourfold since the pandemic and since the new government came in mid-March 20 with all these programs to attract expats. So we are very excited with all we have been doing lately here at Viña Eden.
And so how close are you to Punta del Este? Because Punta del Este is a larger city on the right on the coast there, correct? So how far is it to get to Viña Eden if somebody was just either in Montevideo or the Punta del Este area?
So we are 15 miles from the shore and 20 miles from the city. And we are about 20 miles from the Punta del Este airport and 60 miles from the Montevideo airport. So we're actually very close to all these major attractions.
Yeah, so if somebody's down there, it's just an easy little hop out to see you guys. Or if they're down there and wanted to spend some extra time, then of course you're going to have the resort open.
Correct.
Yeah. So can you tell me how the process of tokenizing the vineyards works with the NFTs? So how do you track that, and what does those NFTs get you?
So basically, we have planted these two new blocks, block 13 and block 14 of the vineyard last year. And the total plants that exist in these two new blocks of 3 varieties, Tannat, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc, they are 18,056 plants, vines, and each vine corresponds to one NFT. So each wallet that owns NFTs gets 4 times a year one coin. It's called the Eden coin. And this coin is not tradable. It can only be exchanged by our products and services. And each Eden coin is worth $1 when it is exchanged by our products and services. So you can get wines, you can get olive oil, you can get visits, lunch, nights, all with the Eden coin inside our website and our, let's say, ecosystem.
Right.
And the NFT is called Viña, and you can trade freely the NFT in the marketplaces like all the NFT marketplaces and inside our platform as well.
So if I bought one and I dropped it onto OpenSea, I could potentially sell it.
Correct.
Okay.
We have also the NFTs in OpenSea right now. And the interesting thing is that from the 18,000 NFTs of this collection called Perpetual Wine, 2% of them are the diamond, because we have created this system where, depending on the amount of NFTs the wallet owns, they get more Eden coins. So for instance, if you have only one NFT, you get 6 Eden coins per quarter. But if you have 180 plus NFTs, you get 9 Eden coins per NFT per quarter. So, and the name, the collection is called Perpetual Wine, is that it is perpetual. You will get those coins to be exchanged for wines and services as long as you own those NFTs.
Okay. And you said that each NFT is tied to a vine. What if I buy one and my vine dies?
So all our vineyard is insured,
Okay.
and we do not only have these blocks 13 and 14, obviously by the number, we have also from 1 to 12. So the production is not necessarily tied to the production of these vines. There will always be wine being produced from all of our other blocks that will be able to be exchanged.
Kind of tied, yeah, it's kind of tied to the whole thing, and you get kind of a pro rata share then.
Correct.
Okay, cool. But I like that you're kind of tying it into something living too, so that people can say, well, I've got a crypto and it's actually living.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So, did you originally start out to, well, actually, I got to back up. You had mentioned olive oil. Do you have olive trees on the
We
acre?
produce olive oil, but we buy the fruit from a neighbor.
Okay.
We don't produce our own olives. On the other hand, all our wine is made by our own vines and vine grape production. We don't buy grapes from outside.
Okay. And Marcus, did you have any questions on how the winery tokenization is set up?
No, I have some specific questions on the blockchains and things like that. So, I see that you guys built on Polygon or Polymatic. Was there a reason, or what was the selection process that you used to choose that blockchain?
So we used a company in Rio de Janeiro called Weblock, and they do all their loyalty and tokenization programs on Polygon. They have a platform that we use called the Constructor, where we do our Web3 website. So this is basically the reason. And to be honest, We were not too worried on which blockchain because we think that what's really important for our members or our NFT holders is actually all the benefits that they get and being part of Viña Eden and all this perpetual wine thing that is something kind of unique. I looked for different programs, for different projects that were and are being made and created worldwide. But honestly, I did not find anyone that was similar to ours. So we ended up needing to create it mostly from scratch, our program here.
And I'm really interested. You said that they just it sounded like they run the back end, the company, and you, like, they give you the building blocks to put the front end out of the website so that it's a Web 2 experience, and people don't have to know that there's blockchain running in the background.
That's correct. You can sign up to the platform either with an email. So once you do that and you sign up, a wallet will be created for you automatically, or you can sign up with your MetaMask wallet. So you can do either way. And the interesting thing here is that we have different payment methods. You can buy our NFT in 4 ways. If you buy $1,000 of our wines, you will get one NFT for free. You can also pay for the NFT with Pix, the Brazilian instant payment system. You can pay with credit cards, and you can also pay with crypto. So it's virtually any way you want to get the NFT, you can get.
Okay.
You have all the payment rails. So one of the questions I have is the target audience. Right now, the website is in Portuguese right now. Are you selling to people in Uruguay, or are you selling to people in other parts of Latin America, or do you intend to sell in the United States, in Europe? What's the plan for that?
So that's an awesome question because we just launched maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago, and we are in the process of also having the website in Spanish and in English. But because 85% of our visitors at the winery and restaurant are from Brazil, so we started with the Brazilian version because we think that most of our NFT holders will also be from Brazil. So right now, the wines can be delivered when you exchange your Eden coins for wines. They can be delivered in Uruguay and in the whole of Brazil. But we are in the process of having our first export to the US. We just got during this year an importer in Florida and distributor. So we will also have the ability to deliver our wines that are exchanged for the Eden coins in the US short.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask one follow-up question. You had said that if I buy $1,000 of wine, I'll get one Eden token. What do you think the average price point is? Could I get to that, with 4 bottles, or do I have to, get a case or 2?
So we have 2 lines of. We have like the entry line, which is called Pueblo Eden. Pueblo Eden is the town next to the winery.
Okay.
And that's actually why the winery is called Viña Eden. And we have the Viña Eden line. So our wines start at $15, 15, and they go up to $120, which is the 1-by-1 block Merlot. We have this block of Merlot. It's planted on a 1 meter by 1 meter. So the vines compete within themselves and the roots go very deep into the mineral soil, and it's a very, very special wine. So this is around, if I'm not mistaken, $120 the bottle. So it will depend on what kind of wine you will choose to get to that $1,000.
Okay. Okay. But nice to know I could potentially get there in, few, like 9 or 10 bottles. So.
Correct. And also there's something really interesting that it would be nice to mention. We are the only winery in Uruguay which makes kosher wines.
Oh,
So
nice.
we have both the Chardonnay and the Tanat in the kosher versions also.
That saves me from going to get Mogan David for Passover then.
Yeah.
One of my other questions for you was as the wine adds value, does the NFT or the wine increases in value and you buy a certain year, do you see that value going back to the holders of the NFT as well? So will the NFT have any increase in value?
So I think that because it's a limited amount of NFTs, 18,056, and because the benefits are really a good amount of benefit, and if you try to, I haven't done this accounting, but I'll do it at some point, to do the present value of this, let's say, 9 to 16% income in product for life. So it will probably increase in value, the NFTs, but that's up to the marketplace. One thinks it's going to increase, but let's see what happens.
So in the tokenization space, we deal with a lot of legislation, right? And the laws always shape things. And so since this is a Brazilian platform, and are you subject to anything from the CVM in English, or as you know, it's basically the SEC in Brazil. It's CVM is what it's called.
So basically this is a loyalty program.
Got it.
And the way for the members to participate into the loyalty program is by acquiring the NFT, and the NFT is the membership token, let's say.
I see.
And the membership token can be negotiated in OpenSea, as you mentioned. But the Eden coin is a utility token. It cannot be negotiated in secondary market, and it can only be exchanged by products and services within our ecosystem. So if you want to do an analogy, it would be something like an airline membership program with points, but with a big difference that you can sell the membership. You are not like just a card, a plastic card of a membership that is tied to your individual.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you could give it to your estate or anything like that, which is nice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yes.
Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about the resort and what you're building for the resort? Because you have some incredible plans, especially with what the resort is going to look like. And I should back up. I'm familiar with Italy and they have the agroturismo type of things. So is that a similar experience when people are going to come out and stay at the resort? They're going to get, you know, a better feel for the winery and you know, like kind of live a little bit more and get a better experience with that.
So the resort is going to have 40 suites. There are going to be 3 100 square meter suites, 12 60 square meters, and 25 45 square meters. And there is going to be an incredible spa in the resort. And total, there are going to be 5 gastronomic options. So the resort building is going to be 80 meters above where the winery building is, where we're sitting right now. And it's going to have a 360 view. We can even view the Punta del Este downtown from the resort. And we will have a trail from the resort to the winery and to the vineyard, to the north vineyards, to the south vineyards. And the gastronomic options will be fantastic. So the idea is that if someone comes here and wants to spend a week, there will be enough to do for the whole week. But if that person or couple comes here and wants also to visit Punta del Este, we will have, you know, the cars to take them to Punta del Este and do the visit and go to the beach and all of that.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. On your website, do you have plans of, you know, what it looks like?
Yes, we are in the process of uploading the renders and the plans, both of the master plan and of the hotel. And now we are also going to offer lots where someone can buy the lot and build up to 2 villas in each lot. And each lot is about 6.5 acres.
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
All the lots are around the vineyards and the hotel. And also the villas from this, let's call it gated neighborhood, will have access to the hotel facility.
Michael, I would add one more point. We spent the afternoon with Enkel Group, and which is a very well-known architectural and building company here in Punta del Este. And they're using cross-laminated timber to build many of their buildings. They're building hotels, you know, custom homes, etc. And so the idea here is to use Enkel Group to not only design and build the hotel, but also use them to build villas that people would, let's say, reside in part of the year and then opt into putting them into a rental pool managed by the Aiken Hotel Group, and then having all those benefits from the hotel extended to the villa owner.
Okay, very nice. Do you mind if I share my screen? Because I don't know if these are still in effect, but some of it's really cool looking architecture. So there we go.
Sure.
That's it.
Very, very nice. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So as you were saying, Maurizio, you're ecologically, you're building into the hillside. It just looks beautiful, and you've got like the real grapevines there. You know, this is just, you know, stunning with the turf roof and everything to keep things cool and all the rest of it. And this is kind of your layout, correct?
Yes, this is the layout of the hotel. So there are 3 floors. The entrance, the lobby, which is the previous slide you showed, is on the top floor, and then you go down to the rooms that go in the same shape of the mountain, around the mountain.
Oh, very nice.
So yes.
I stayed in for my honeymoon. We stayed in something similar to that in man, I'm blanking on it now, but an Italian sea town on the Amalfi Coast. But it's just you enter in just at the top, and the entire rest of the hotel is down, underneath it, built into the hillside. So very cool. And Bill, you're talking about the laminated wood. So this is, a rendering of the type of thing you're looking to do, correct?
Right. Yeah. Construction costs are just so much lower than what you would see in America, especially for higher end hotels and homes. I don't know if you want to get into the particulars on costs and so forth, but it's a
Oh, no.
significant case.
Yeah, no, you've got just a vast resource of raw materials down in South America. I was most impressed by the infinity pool in,
Yes,
in the fire pit. So that's really cool. And you're also doing a health spa there.
correct.
And then I'm gonna stop sharing now, but the plans are you guys are gonna construct it, and then at some point perhaps do a capital raise to tokenize shares in the resort.
So at this point, what we're doing on the 40 units, each unit will be represented by a number of shares on the company which owns the 11 hectare, which is about 25 acres, and the hotel building. So we are going to raise some capital on by selling shares that correspond to units of the hotel. At some point, to enhance liquidity, we might tokenize the shares that are related to each of one of the units. And by investing in these shares, you are entitled to spend 8 free nights in your unit and have discounts on all the other stays, but you are basically a shareholder of the enterprise, and you don't have any expense. On the opposite, you have a return on your investment.
Very
Michael,
similar to what they kind of did with Aspen Coin.
Yeah, similar. One of the other things that drew me to Uruguay, especially at this particular moment in time, I actually established residency here many years ago, but now the bar to get residency has been increased, and the government here is making it very interesting for expats to come, invest capital, get fiscal residency. I don't want to get into all those benefits on this podcast, but yeah, I'm working with, I think, the top legal firm here in the country. And so by making the investment, making certain investments, you actually get immediate fiscal residency. And then different types of fiscal residency have different types of time requirements, how many days per year you must stay in the country.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so that's actually a really good thing too. If you can tie in the benefits of residency, the benefits of the hotel stays, the benefits of just, having a second or first home in a beautiful, free land like Uruguay.
Yeah, let me add one more point there, because a lot of Americans have been flocking to Puerto Rico over the last decade. And I looked at Puerto Rico, and I have some old clients of my friends that reside in Puerto Rico, and I like Puerto Rico. It's very nice. But the beauty of Uruguay, I mean, Puerto Rico, 45% of the population lives in poverty. Here, it's less than 10%. People have incentives to work here and produce here. And as I mentioned to you, the foreign direct investment as a percentage of GDP has been increasing the last several years. How they responded to COVID, that was another sign for me anyway. And I just think, you can come here with your family. I mean, I plan on bringing my family here. I think it's a great place to live all year round. It has literally everything, and socially, it's wonderful. I think the people are fantastic, clean, it's safe, and once you add in the fiscal tax attractions, I think it beats Puerto Rico or any of these places by a country mile.
Right, and it's really extremely close to Buenos Aires. So if you really wanted, well, and actually Montevideo has a beautiful European experience too. It feels like you're in Europe, but Buenos Aires is, like if you really want the big city and everything else, it's just a boat ride away.
Yeah, and I think the other thing Mauricio and I were just talking about today at lunch was, look, I mean, 80%, I think, is the number of the people who reside in Punta are Argentine, right? And the fact that Argentina's had literally 4 decades of utter mismanagement at the government level, and now all of a sudden you've got a guy like Milei, who's essentially more of a libertarian free market guy, and he's willing to kind of change things economically. And so if he's even modestly successful, this place, for example, is just going to absolutely benefit. So I believe that Milei has a very better than 50-50 chance of kind of turning aspects of Argentina. And so this place would be the primary beneficiary.
All right, very nice. Marcus,
If I may add something, which is really, it's my, let's say, other passion after wine, is aviation. So here we have a helipad, a certified helipad by the local FAA, which is called Gymnasia, and we have also a certified landing strip. So it is also connected for general aviation, the Viña Eden.
okay.
And this is the other thing that we were talking this afternoon. We are in the middle of, let's say, the countryside, 20 minutes from Punta del Este, and we can take off and go to Buenos Aires, spend the weekend. It's only 1 hour flight in our single engine,
Oh, magnificent. Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. So, and you said you've got a helipad on site or it's at the airport?
No, it's on site, and we receive quite a few of the visitors that come for lunch from Montevideo or from Punta del Este with the helicopter, yes.
And Mauricio plans on having when is the hangar?
By the next month or 2, yes.
So you
Okay.
keep your plane here as well.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Well, I think that's all I had. Marcus, did you have anything?
No, I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna make some orders and send them to São Paulo. I have some friends that are very big wine aficionados, so I will send that to them. So hopefully the next time I'm there, we can share and then plan a trip to Uruguay to come visit. And ironically, while this was happening, some friends of mine are actually quite very good friends with the that same service provider that you gentlemen are using, Weblock. So they said very good things about them. So it's
Yes.
exciting to see how small the world is, and I'm sure there would be an opportunity for us to speak about the changes geopolitically. You mentioned before, Bill, Austrian economics, which Michael and I have talked quite a lot about, and um, uh, see a lot of like-minded things. I have the same sentiment for Puerto Rico. I worked there for 3 years. It's a great place, but it's not necessarily a place I want to be full-time, even though I know some people that are in the blockchain space and asset management space that have moved there. And I don't think it's as free flowing as Uruguay in the sense that you can just go out and enjoy it. So I'm very impressed with what you guys have done.
And so Marcus,
Thank
why
you
don't
so
you
much.
give us your website and so we can have it in the show notes?
Oh, Mine or Mauricio? I'll send you mine.
You're
Oh, okay. I'll send it to you. Okay, perfect.
no, just say it.
Oh, so it's Sosta.fund. Sosta.fund. Although we are redoing it, so it may be ready by the time everyone looks at it in the show. So please, Sosta, SOUSTA.fund.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Marcus.
No,
And
thank you.
would you gentlemen give us the best way for somebody to go and find out about Viña Eden and the fantastic wines, the project, and perhaps if they're eligible, buy the NFTs?
So at vinyaeden.com, you can find all the information and buy the NFTs and the wines. Also at ruta12.com.br, that's ruta12.com.br, is our importer distributor in Brazil. So all the wines are there. We have stock in Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, and Santa Catarina. So we have like very easy delivery to the whole of Brazil.
Okay.
The other one thing I wanted just to mention that is a very interesting thing about Uruguay. Uruguay is a country where 75% of the population are homeowners, and is a country that, because it has kind of jumped from the agricultural to the services economy, it has not actually participated in the industrial economy. So the environment is very well preserved, and clean air, water, everything. And a measure of that, which is interesting, is that the biggest industry in Uruguay is the tourism, and the biggest export of Uruguay is software. It's 2/3 of Uruguay exports.
Wow. Wow.
So it's a country that has been doing its homework, and slowly but surely has been advancing in the last 2 decades, at least since I have been here. The GDP has traveled from 20 billion to $65 billion.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to put all the ways to get in contact with you guys in the show notes, but to get in contact or at least see what's going on, it's Viña Eden. I'm going to pronounce it the American way. It's VINAEDEN.com. So I'm going to, we'll have those there. I sincerely appreciate you guys coming on, talking a little bit about this. This is really exciting because it's not only the tokenization part, but it's the actual agricultural NFTs, new way of doing benefit programs and loyalty programs. So you guys have just are on the front of, the front edge of everything. And so I wish you all the success in the world. With that, we will be wrapping this show up, and don't forget to sign up for the Blockchain Real Estate Summit. That's happening September 24th through the 26th. You can go to blockchainrealestatesummit.com, get your tickets. We also have replays from 2023 and 2022, but you can get the tickets. We're going to have people from over 40 different countries speaking. Once again, it's 3 days, 3 time zones. It's everything you ever wanted to know about blockchain real estate. If you are looking to do a blockchain real estate project or any type of thing with tokenization, or how blockchain and AI intersect in real estate, you're going to want to sign up at blockchainrealestatesummit.com. And as always, there is no legal advice, there's no financial advice, and there's really no advice at all. This is for entertainment purposes. And I can't tell you how entertaining this was, guys, especially that you're sipping some great wine down there in Uruguay. And Bill is constantly trying to drag me down there, and he's just making me jealous now. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Blockchain Real Estate Podcast, hosted by the Blockchain Real Estate Summit. Don't forget to sign up for the Blockchain Real Estate Summit 2024, happening this September 24th through 26th, online for our worldwide audience. Get your tickets at blockchainrealestatesummit.com/registration. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow the Blockchain Real Estate Podcast on your favorite platform and leave us a review. Your feedback really helps increase the visibility of our show, allowing us to reach more listeners like you. If you have someone in mind you would like us to interview, you can go to blockchainrealestatesummit.com and leave a comment.
Hi, this is Adam Carswell, the voice of Liberty. This podcast is solely intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended to provide tax, legal, investment, or accounting advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, accounting, or investment advisors before engaging in any transaction or undertaking. Thank you for listening to the Blockchain Real Estate Podcast, which is a part of the Blockchain Real Estate Summit Network. Go to blockchainrealestatesummit.com for more information, free reports, and giveaways with free stuff. Thank you.